It came out without doing that this time. Weird. Oh, well, okay, now you do. Now do you see me? Okay. Okay. Bye.
We're having some technical. Okay, well, I'm going to try to keep this, like she said, as short as I can, but I have like a bunch of pages of notes. So, like she said, I went to the silver training when I was there, and two of the ladies that we heard from was Melissa Eichenhorst and Jennifer Leach, and we did hear from Tamara Holloway as well. But I didn't get as much from her as I did from the other two, so I'm going to stick with the other two. One of the things that Melissa Eichenhorst talked about was a story about a bamboo plant, and I thought this was really cool because it really can relate to your business and can really relate to how a lot of people feel about the time frame of your business. And I don't know if you guys know this, but bamboo only grows a couple inches in the first 4 to 5 years. So it doesn't grow very much at all. And then after the 5th year, it grows 80 feet quickly, like super quick. So for our business, it's like for the first 5 years or the first year or however long, you may not see much growth in your team, or you may not see much growth in you or anything like that. But if you wait and you wait it out and you keep pushing and you keep working, your business can grow by leaps and bounds. So that was something that really spoke to me, that was really like, wow, because I've been at the rank I'm at for a year now, and it's just like I can't get past it. Everything I try to do just keeps stopping me, and it's like, you just got to sit there and think, you're working, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, it'll come. So you just got to have faith. And that's the main thing. You just can't quit. You may not get an ambassador, or you may not go silver, or you may not go gold in your first year, but you can't quit. You've got to keep going. And one of the analogies she used as well was, you've got to treat your business like you're digging for gold. Say you have 3 gold nuggets, or somebody has 3 gold nuggets and they have buried them in your backyard. You don't know where they are, but you know they're in your backyard. So are you going to sit there and just leave them there, or are you going to go in your backyard and dig them up? I mean, it may take you a while to find them, and you may find one. So if you just find one, are you going to leave the other 2 out there, or are you going to keep digging to find the other 2? And that's how we need to treat our business, like we're digging for gold, like we're looking for those gold nuggets that somebody has buried. And because we know the value of them, our business is the same way. Our business is just as valuable. So, and the other, I'm just going to go through my little points and just keep going. And she also said something like the business is about longevity, perseverance, and pushing through the difficult times. And the only way that we can fail at this job is if we quit. So that's one of the things that she talked about mostly, was not quitting, not giving up. And most of the top earners in our industry, like in multi-level marketing industries, have been with their companies 5 to 25 years. And they have personally sponsored 50 to 150 in their businesses. So until we can personally sponsor like 100 people, we may not get to where we want to be, but we've actually, we've made those personal connections. And until we reach that, we can't quit, because you'll be working, and if you're working, your business will work. So when you're actively working and you're actively doing that, your business is going to work. And even if it's like I said, even if it took you a year or 5 years or 10 years, you're going to be reaching out to people, and you're going to be reaching people that really need this stuff. So the law of averages says if you bring 100 people in, you will have some awesome power partners. I mean, you'll have some power partners who want to reach this goal, want to work the business like you, and you're going to have somebody who's going to help you take it to the top. So it's not a race. You don't have to make it a race. It's at your own pace and whatever works for you. So that was some of the main points that she talked about. And then Jennifer Leaf talked about building your brand, building who you are. And that's one of the main things that people look at on your social media page, on your Instagram, or just out personally talking to people. So you've got to build your brand. And I know a lot of people think that your brand is Plexus, but it's actually what you do outside of Plexus. It's who you are outside of Plexus. So your brand is the impression that you leave behind on people. So it's not about being famous or feeling important. It's about making a difference. It's about drawing people in with who you are and what you're about. So one of the things that she recommended was get a good profile picture on your Facebook. It can be of yourself, it could be of your family, but don't just make it all about your kids or all about something else. But you want to make it about you, because it shows the world that you love yourself, that you are confident in yourself, and that's one of the things that you need to have is confidence in yourself. It shows people that you're courageous, that you're fearfully and wonderfully made. And we are who we are. Oh, we are who we believe we are. So if you show people that you believe in yourself and that you're courageous and that you're positive, you're going to have a lot of people see, she's happy. These products are helping her be happy. Or she's courageous. She has so much courage posting pictures of herself. Or, and it's not all about vanity. Don't get me wrong. It's just about being yourself. And so think about who do you believe that you are? Because who you believe you are is what other people are going to see. So, okay, so I know I hide behind a lot of pictures of my kids. I will post tons of pictures of my kids. I will post pictures of my husband. I will post pictures of everybody else but myself. And nobody wants to see that. They want to see you. They want to see who you really are. Because I'm too afraid. I'm too afraid to post pictures of myself. So we draw people in through inspiration. And that's really hard for me. It's really hard for me to be that courageous person and post pictures of myself, because I don't feel like I'm that good looking, or that I'm, I don't have that positivity in myself. So that's something that I really struggle with. If we can't be real or authentic, then our brand is garbage. So that's one of the things that she really talked about, was leave an impression that you love yourself. So if we don't leave that impression, then our brand is garbage. That really hit home for me. Let's see. What else? Okay, so another thing about building your brand is to pick 3 or 4 things that you're going to post about regularly, or talk or visit regularly. Like if my oldest plays football and plays soccer. So that's one thing right there, posting about that, or posting about my younger kids, not as much, but talking about being a stay-at-home mom, or 3 or 4 different things about your life that you're going to visit on a regular basis. They have to be where they're going to encourage somebody, and they have to be where it's going to make you feel strong. It's going to make you feel positive about your life. Also think about the description on your Facebook page. Does it just say Independent Plexus Ambassador, or does it tell a story? Does it tell who you are? You need to write your story. Write your story through that. Mine says, I can't remember what mine says. like I'm married to a great husband, and I'm a daughter of the one true king. I'm a mompreneur, and just things like that, you know, just make it other than just independent Plexus ambassador. Some of you don't think that your story is worth writing. That's huge. That's me. Like, I don't feel like my story is worth writing. Who am I? You know, who am I that has a story that's worth anybody's time? So, you don't think you deserve a brand, and you do. So that's a big one too. Another thing she brought up is you are the sum of the top 5 people you spend time with. So those top 5 people that you spend time with, are they encouragers? Are they people who support you? Or are they people who tear you down and make fun of you and make jokes at your expense? So that's a big thing too, because I have a lot of people and influences in my life that don't support me. So that's another reason that I don't feel like my stories worth telling, because I don't have any kind of support, you know? I mean, I have my husband. I mean, obviously he's on here, but, and my mother-in-law, but it's you know, I don't have any, I have those too. And it's like, you need to have influential people, and you need to have people who are going to support you, because that can shatter your belief. Yeah, it can really shatter your belief. Another thing is being authentic. That's one thing that you really need to be authentic and show people who you are. But that doesn't mean post your whole life on Facebook. That doesn't mean if you get mad at the person in front of you in line, you don't post that on Facebook and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe this person just did this and all that. I mean, you want to, like I said, you want to bring a positive feel to your Facebook. So try not to be negative Nancy. Attitude determines your altitude. That's another thing that really spoke to me too, because my attitude can be really stinky sometimes, and it determines my altitude. And when I get upset or when I don't stay positive, it really can affect me and my day and my kids' day. It's kind of just like a whole trickle down effect. So anger and frustration are normal, but shouldn't be our main attitude when building a brand. So here's an example. Like I said, being in line in a coffee shop. You could complain about your being in line and how long it's taking, and I can't believe they're making me wait this long, and throw a fit. Or you can find the positive and say, I'm going to meet so many new people and talk to everybody in line that I can. So there's 2 different angles to it. It's like, we were in line a lot in convention, and you can ask Sandra, I complained a lot. But if you take that time and that advantage to talk to people, even if they are other Plexus people, you can learn from them, or you can talk to whoever and share Plexus with them in the conversation. You know, it's just all about how you take the situation and turn it to something positive. The more loving, kind, and giving of grace you are, the more good to you. So we're always being watched. So one of the things that she brought up is she made a comment about, do you think that a Diamond Ambassador is going to drive through the drive-through in their Plexus Lexus? So this lady that I'm talking about, Jennifer Leaf, she's a mom of, I don't know how many kids she has, but she's got a bunch of kids, and she homeschools, and she has a van that she carries everybody around in. And she's like, do you think I drive up in the drive-thru in my Plexus Lexus? Heck no, I take my van. Because she doesn't want people to see, like, but she was a joke. It was just like, you don't let people see you doing things like that, because it can hurt your brand. You know, I mean, I'm not saying you can't go through the drive-thru. I'm just saying, if you've got a Plexus sticker on the back of your car, or if you've got any kind of information about Plexus on you that you want to share with people, going through the drive-thru or going to McDonald's or things like that, it's probably not the best idea. Just saying. Think about the people who have left a sour taste in your mouth. Think of what they did to make you feel that way. Are you leaving that same sour impression on other people that you're around? Think about how you make people feel. When you leave the impression of happiness and excitement, you encourage others and let people celebrate and cry with you. So that's another thing that she was bringing up was other people's posts on Facebook. Tamara Holloway had posted a Facebook post about being pregnant last year, and she was celebrating something, and you can do that, but just like we said before, don't make it something that's going to be negative or anything like that. Let's see. I think that's all I have. Let's see. Let me just look over my notes. Yeah, that's all I have.
Okay, that was really good, Jennifer. I wanted to bring out a couple of things. Jennifer and I were talking about earlier this week about belief and belief in yourself versus, it's easy to believe in the products and it's easy to believe in the company, but it's hard to believe in yourself. That's the hardest thing to do. But we've got to do that. We've got to believe in ourselves too, because really what we're selling, we don't call it selling, we share health and wellness, but what we're selling other people is trust in us. We're not selling a product as much as we're selling people to trust us, you know. So we've got to believe in ourselves for other people to believe in us too. And I like what she said about being real and authentic, but not being negative. In our training, because in the gold training, we had brand training also, but I'm sure it was just from a different point of view from somebody else. But they were talking about, sometimes you see people post and it's like, oh, drink pink, it makes you happy. The next day they're saying, I have a headache and I feel like crap. You know, it's like, you just blew your brand when you did that, you know. So, and here's another thing is, your posts need to be one of three types of posts. They either need to be informational, inspirational, or fun. So if you can remember those three things when you're making your post to be. And she was talking about attitude determines your altitude. One of the things that it was reinforced a couple of times in the training that I was in, and I was just, while I was on the treadmill, I listened to Audible on the treadmill a lot of the times, and I'm listening to Compound Effect right now, and he said the same thing. So it's like, okay, I guess I keep hearing it over and over and over. If it is to be, it's up to me. If it is to be, it's up to me. And let me give you she was talking about the kind of person you are. Are you the kind of person that draws people to you? Or are you the kind of person that kind of leaves a sour taste in your mouth? And I have to make a confession. I blew it today. I took my granddaughter to the movies today. And so we got there, got in, bought our tickets, and I don't know. First of all, tickets are too high to me at the movies, but that's okay. I can deal with the ticket. But then I got in and I bought her a bag of popcorn, a small bag, mind you, and me a small bag of popcorn, and her a small drink, and me a small drink, and we paid $27 for 2 small bags of popcorn and 2 small drinks. I was like, and the lady goes, "Would you like for me to round that up to give it to charity?" Here was my response. Heck no, this is too much to begin with. I should have paid $37 for this film. So, sorry, but I just totally blew any opportunity I had. And I got to thinking later, I was like, golly, I can't go ask her would she like to buy Plexus now. No, lady, you get away from me. So, I mean, I know that's extreme, but sometimes we have to be mindful of our attitude, and even those comments like that we make, we've got to be, you know, We've got to think about that, because wherever we are open for business, and our advertisement is our attitude. So, anyway, that was really good, Jennifer. Thank you for sharing with us.
I did find one more thing that I was going to say, and I found it at the end and I didn't see it. One of the things she said, another thing that I really liked, was we are all sailboats. We all experience the same current, the same wind, yet some of us will sink. Some of us will veer off course. Others of us will make it to the finish line. Why? Because we believe in ourselves. Because we are overcomers. That was huge. You have to have the belief in yourself to overcome all of the naysayers and all of the haters and all of the negative people, and it's huge.
That
belief is huge.
What you were talking about, your top 5 people. That was one thing. That's the law of environment. That's John Maxwell's law of environment. And he talks about 95% of your success or failure is going to be dictated by your environment. So you need to surround yourself. Growth thrives in a conducive surrounding. So you need to surround yourself with successful people. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't have to be rich people, but it has to be, they have to have that successful mentality as well. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's possible. This business is possible. We're all here for the same reason. One of the things Les Brown said in our training was, we're all here for the same reason for this business, because there's something in you that is possible, that you think that you can have a better life. You can have a better life instead of continuing to be in the job you don't want to be in, or that's below your pay grade or below your intelligence and abilities. It's possible that I could build a legacy, that you could build a legacy for your family or whatever, whoever. You know, most all of us are here for a same reason, and that's one of them. So we will have a belief that it is possible to be overcomers and build a legacy. So
I have to tell you the story that Michelle Thomas told us in our training, and it just floored me. You know, sometimes we look at these diamond ambassadors and they're making the big bucks, and they've reached their crest on that push upward, and now they're enjoying the momentum of the other side of the hill. But they didn't just get there by luck. It wasn't just, you know, it wasn't any easier for them than it would be for us. They had to work the business just like we have to work the business. But Michelle Thomas was talking about, she says they reached a point in their career where she was emerald and her husband Tim. Michelle Thomas is the one that does Rock the Pink, if y'all haven't seen that. But she said she was emerald and her husband Tim was on his way to senior ruby. So he was real close to emerald too. And she said, and he quit his job. They had replaced his income. She was a stay-at-home mom. She homeschooled, and he had quit his job because they were making enough money to provide without him working. And, you know, they were both working the business. And she said probably the biggest compliance issue to date with Plexus, one of their ambassadors had falsified 70 ambassadors, like stolen social security numbers and gotten fake ambassadors. So in one day, she lost 70 people. And she said, I panicked. She said, I sat down with Tim and I was like, you've got to go back to work. You have to go back to work. We can't do this. And she said, he told her, he said, we have chosen success. Before I quit my job, we have already chosen success. And she said, and out of that trial that they went through, that's when Rock the Pink was born. They had their first broadcast that night. They started thinking of options and he never went back to work. He decided that he had chosen this opportunity and he was going to make it work. And so I don't know. I don't think is he diamond? She's diamond. I don't know what he is.
I think he is.
So it's like even in through that adversity, it is possible. I mean, so yeah, everybody in the room when she said that, we all was like, kind of gasped because I can't imagine. Oh, that was giving me would have given me a heart attack, but they still pulled through. Were you gonna say something, Jennifer?
Yeah, one of the Jennifer Leith story was basically she's a diamond now, but before she was a diamond, she struggled a lot with her kids and everything, and being able to pay bills. She was on food stamps and Medicaid. She was not. I mean, they weren't making a lot of money. She was in the shower one day and had their water cut off in the middle of her shower, and she had to go to her next door neighbor's house and rinse her hair out in the hose. And even at that point, she still waited an entire year because the plexus had been brought up to her at that time. And when she was still at that struggling point where she was at the lowest, she still waited an entire year before she joined. So they were in a spot in a bad place, just like I was, or just like any of us are. And it all depends on your belief and your want, and that's the biggest thing that holds a bunch of people back.
So Vince, while we were in Vegas, Vince tried his best to get us to play blackjack, but we were both too scared because we don't know how to bet at the blackjack table. But
I played the slot.
Yeah, Jennifer won $20.
I started with $5 and I won $20, so that's something.
But I did pick up these. Does everybody know what these are?
Mm-hmm.
They're poker chips. Every one of you are gonna get one of these in the mail, and the reason I'm doing that is because I just want for you to look at this and remember this as a reminder that to be successful, you have to be all in. You got to draw your line in the sand and say, I'm in. I have belief. I'm believing in the product, I'm believing in the company, and I'm believing in myself. So even when Michelle Thomas lost 70 ambassadors in one day, Tim reminded her that they were all in. And so that's what it takes. You have to have belief in the company. So I'm going to be sending y'all one of those. So when you get a poker chip in the mail, you'll understand why you're getting one. So, okay. So we got a few minutes. I'm going to go over just one. Well, no, I'm not. Let me, I don't know. Let me go over one chapter of Beach Money real quick. And that's chapter 14, and we'll just do whatever we can do each week. I'm not going to promise we'll get through whatever. So he talks about Rolodex marketing, and I think we all know what a Rolodex is, don't we? I don't think any of us are too young to not know what a Rolodex is. But he talks about connections and making connections, and that connected people build strong networks that run deep. So you need to invest your time to become well connected, and you will begin to attract others that have connections. So how do you make connections? Well, you don't go out there and just you make connections by giving of yourself. What can you do? What value can you add to someone else? It's not about what you can get from that person, but what value you can add to another person. That's what a true connection is about. And it gave it takes about 2 years to make 2 years worth of genuine connections to really set yourself up for successful business. So this is not, we talk about Plexus is simple. It is simple. It's not necessarily get rich quick, but it's simple. It just takes, like Jennifer was saying, persistency and consistency. So one of the things that we were doing on our action stack, and I think Jane and Jennifer were in the 60-day challenge, is one thing that we were challenged to do every day was to add 3 new people to our Facebook. Well, let me just give you an idea about adding people to your Facebook. I got into adding way more than 3 people to my Facebook for a while, and it was like becoming overwhelming to me. And I have a lot of Facebook friends now, but I'm not connected to those Facebook people because it was so many that I couldn't build relationships with them. It's like I need to go back now and look at those people and get to know them individually. So it's important it's not just about getting the numbers on your page, on your Facebook page, but it's about getting to know those people and a little bit about them and making a connection with them. He also talked about view your contact manager as an opportunity to give back. So what can I do for someone in my network today that will add value to their life? It's not a resource for getting, but it's a resource for giving. And I think that's really, really important. And then he talks about cold calls are not really necessary. And let me tell you something. I used to sell insurance door to door. And cold calls, knocking on somebody's door that's a stranger that you don't know, is probably one of the worst things in the world to have to do. But if you have those connections can connect you to other people as well. And then he says that every time you make a new connection, go immediately and make a note under their name, a little bit about how you met, a little bit about that person, and so you can build on that. He also said what you'll need to do to advance the quality of the relationship with them is, do they know you? Do they know what you do? Do they know what you look like, what you're interested in? And then, do they trust you? Do they consider you a friend? And can they depend on you? So if somebody has a choice, if 2 Plexus people are approaching, or let's say a Plexus and a Herbalife person is approaching one potential, I guarantee you the person with the stronger connection is the one that's going to get the sale. It's not about one product over another product. I mean, I believe in our products, and I believe we have superior products, but the person that's going to get the potential will be the one that has the stronger connection with that person. So connections are so important. Real quickly, I wanted to go over a couple of things. There is another 7-day challenge that's starting June the 12th. Does everybody know about that? So the reason I'm telling you that is because Leaders Retreat is coming up. And Leaders Retreat is in October, but the contest for points runs June, July, and August. In order to get Leaders Retreat, you're going to need 775 points. Is that right, Jennifer? 775 points. If you have 1,000 or greater PV, you're going to get 200? Do you remember?
Hold, please. I can't remember.
You're going to have PV, and you're going to have new customers and or ambassadors to get points.
Okay, if you have 1,000 PV, it's 150 credits.
150 points. And then every ambassador or customer is a $50 or more customer is 10 PV. It doesn't have to be your own personal customer. Well, it has to be your own personal customer. It doesn't have to be your personal ambassador. Ambassadors 4 levels deep count as 10 points too. So, Marianne and I were talking about this the other day. If you put someone in that 7-day trial with a 7-day trial pack, even if they're new, it's not going to count as a customer for you because that's only half of what they need. So she suggests that you try to get them to get the 30-day even though it's a 7-day challenge, try to get them get them started with a 30-day supply, and emphasize that there's a 60-day money back guarantee. So you can, does that
another thing that Crystal Clemens, I don't know if you saw the live video she did yesterday, but she did a live video on Diamond Driven saying that if you personally buy a 30-day bag of Slim, you can get 4 trial packs out of that. So, and if you charge $25 per trial pack, which is the same as if they would buy it for your back office, you'll get $100 back plus another like $29 is what she was saying. It's like, I don't know how I think that's what she said. Like,
but you're only gonna get PV if you do it yourself.
Right, but if you buy it, that'll count towards your PV. It'll count towards getting credit. But you could also do it that way and then have an incentive, like with the extra money that you make off of it, because you'll be paying yourself. Oh, that's what it was. You'll make $100, which will pay you back the $70 you spend on the bag of Slim, and then whatever's left from that is the $29 that you'll have, $29, $30 that you'll have to offer an incentive for the person. Say, hey, you know, since you did the 7-day trial, if you want to sign up, or if you want to just buy a bag of Slim, I'll give you $10 off. And that'll be the money that you have made off of buying that bag of Slim yourself and selling them individually. So that'll give them an incentive to maybe want to sign up, and then you can get either your ambassador or your preferred customer or retail customer.
Good idea.
So that's a good idea as well.
So, but this is what we're talking about. We were talking about car salesmen. Car salesmen you don't walk in the door and they start trying to sell you the cheap little Hyundai. They start out with the big cars and you work your way down, because you can't build up. So don't start with the 7-day challenge and then expect to build up to a 30-day. Start with the 30-day. And if they're not going to go for that, then you can work your way down and give them a 7-day trial out of your pack or whatever. But try to, you know, one pack, 30-day pack of Slim is enough as a new customer to count towards Leaders Retreat. And Leaders Retreat is in Orlando this year, but it's at the Gaylord and it's completely paid for. All you have to do is get there, but the hotel is paid for, all the meals are paid for, they give you gifts. It's just a really nice, I think you can even, and they're going to have a day at Disney. You can bring 3 guests, I think is what we heard.
Yeah.
With you to Disney for free. So it's really worth the effort to try to do that. And
everything about the 7-day challenge is on the Diamond Driven page, on Marianne's page. All the information, things like all that on there is on there, when it starts and all that. And then also, Tammy, do you know what the daily action stack is? Have you ever seen that before? Okay, because we'll get it posted on the page, the Working Upwards page, so you can print them out. I don't know if you can see this. You probably can't see it very well, but it's got different things for you to check off. It's like a daily list, and you check it off every day, and you do the action stack every day.
It's really just a way to help keep you accountable that you've done what you need to do to be consistent.
So we'll get that posted on there so you can look at it and print it out and start trying to use it if you want.
Next week, Ruth is going to give her testimony. I'm so excited about this. So y'all be sure and get on next week and listen to her. She was a little nervous about doing it, but I managed to talk her into it.
She's going to do awesome. Yeah, she'll do awesome.
So she's going to be on, and then we'll go over beach money, some more beach money again next week. And Vince, did I talk to you about doing the vital biome research? We'll talk later.
I'm going to try. I have 2 of the silver speakers, and I have Les Brown on video record, not video, on voice record. I'm going to try to figure out a way to get them uploaded so you guys can hear them, because I really think they're worth hearing, especially Les Brown. My recording is like an hour long for Les Brown, so Sandra and I are both having a little trouble trying to figure out how to get them.
I got Les Brown
phone.
broken up into 2 30-minute things, and I still can't get it uploaded, but we'll figure it out. There's got to be a way to do it. It was just so good. He was so good.
I mean, that Les Brown thing was like, I'll just tell you right now, Sandra and I were like bawling. It was like that good. It was so good. So it was.
I've seen y'all cry at Kleenex commercials.
Stop it. It was really good.
But Les Brown was still good anyway.
Like, I want Vince. I want you to hear it too, Vince, because it was. I mean, I think you'd really enjoy it too. It was really, really good.
He really is. So next week Vince is going to do some product research for us on Vital Biome, and we'll go over the beach money again. But then the following week, like I said, pleximonies are really important, and being able to tell a good story is really important. That's one of the things that they talked about this week at convention, was how important your story is and telling a good story. And it just, a light bulb went off in my head. It's like, well, we have a high school English teacher on our team who has a dynamic story. So Brandy is going to teach us and train us how to tell a good story. So I thought that would be awesome. And
Did you tell Brandy that yet? Or?
Yes, I did tell Brandy. Unlike you, I did talk to Brandy about it. And then in July, Tammy's coming back to us. Well, hopefully she'll be with us all these other times, but she's going to be in July. Tammy does a lot of really, really good Facebook Live videos. So she's going to train us on how to do good Facebook Live videos in July. So you guys all have some really good good strengths and talents, and instead of me just getting on here and talking to you guys all the time, because I don't know any more than you guys know, and I don't know why I think I need to get on here and blab off. I want to use all of our strengths, and let's help each other and pull from those. And so I'm excited about what's coming up and all these trainings and stuff from everybody. So that's about all I have. Anybody have any questions or anything? Any comments?
Any questions about convention or anything?